Welcome to the course. I think you've made a really good choice in enrolling in this course. So in this first video, what I really want to do is just give you a bit more of an idea of what to expect through the course, and also some words of advice on how to get the absolute most out of this course. So in terms of what to expect, in the first section, really we're going to get a lot of the groundwork done. I'm going to talk about the various different aspects or parts of the moment distribution process, and then I'm going to link all of those together through some simple worked examples. Now, anytime you see a lecture that's entitled Test Yourself, the idea is that you should attempt to try and solve the question in that lecture yourself first before watching me go step by step through the solution. So you'll see those lectures throughout the course. Now, in the next section, I'm going to take a bit of a sidestep and move away from talking about the moment distribution process to focus in on lateral stability. It's going to be really important for our study of frames that we have a good understanding of lateral stability of structures. And what we're talking about here is really when a structural engineer designs a frame or designs a structure, how do they ensure lateral stability of that frame or structure? So that's going to equip us nicely to go on and apply the moment distribution process to frames. Now, in the following sections, we're going to talk first about non-sway frames. So we're going to apply the moment distribution process to those non-sway frames, and then we'll move on to apply it to sway frames. And again, the meaning of sway and non-sway frames is going to be much clearer after we've talked about lateral stability. Now, our sections on frame analysis are really built around worked examples. So you'll have got the basics of how you implement the moment distribution process back in section 1. And then after that, in particular in our frame analysis sections, you're really just going to be applying those to ever more complicated structures. So again, make sure you try and attempt each one of those questions yourself before watching me work through the solution. It really is important because trying to solve these questions yourself first, it's your way of testing whether or not you've understood everything that you've seen up until that point. And it really is a fantastic learning opportunity, and it's a great shame to forego that by simply sitting back and just watching all of the videos without sort of putting pen to paper yourself first. So that's more or less how the course is going to go, or what's in the course. What I want to talk about now is just a couple of points on how I deliver courses. So my day job is as a lecturer in structural engineering. So what I do most of the time is stand up in front of classes full of people such as yourself and explain analysis techniques or design methods or various different engineering principles and concepts. And I tend to do that by writing out notes, and I strongly encourage all of my students to write their notes in parallel with me. Now, if you're a university student and you're used to going into a lecture and just seeing PowerPoint slides put up and you basically have to follow through these PowerPoint slides, that's not how I do things. I don't think that's a great way of giving a lecture. I think it's much more effective if I present an idea and write out my notes and you write out the notes in parallel with me. Now that does a couple of things. It allows me to take a much steadier, more relaxed, more logical pace through any lecture, okay? And as well, it allows you to build up a body of notes in your own handwriting. And that is really, really valuable because it is much easier for you to revise a topic or a concept by revising your own handwritten notes that you understood at the time of writing than it is for you to go and watch a video lecture again from scratch. Again, if you make a mental link between something that's in front of you now and something you've seen previously, you can add all of those little additions into your own handwritten version of your notes. And invariably my students comment at the end of all of my lectures that actually, being encouraged to write out those notes was a great piece of advice, because it's nice to have a body of your own work at the end of any module or any lecture. Then the last thing that I will say really is a sort of a housekeeping issue. It just relates to the video playback speed. So for some of you, I'll be talking probably a bit too fast. For some of you, I might be talking a little bit too slow. So you can speed up or reduce the speed of the video by altering the playback speed in the control bar at the bottom of the video. So I do encourage you to play around with that playback speed until you find something that suits you, that you're happy with, because it'll make the lectures much easier to sit through. So I think that's enough talking for this video. Let's crack on with the rest of the course.